PlayStation has been known for its vast library of RPGs on its platforms for years, all the way back to the PS1 days of Final Fantasy VII, Digimon World, Chrono Cross, Diablo, and countless more awesome RPGs on that system. However, today's RPGs are some of the best looking and best games ever made, and the PS4 has no shortage of them. I'm your host as always, K-Mac Time, and today I want to go over my list for the top 10 PS4 RPGs. Now, real quick, some things I want to keep in mind for you guys. First off, I have not played every RPG out. So if one of your favorites is not on the list, don't freak out. Just leave a comment, kind of tell me what the game's about, and maybe I'll pick it up and play it one day. As I'm sure you guys all know, RPG games can take hundreds of hours to complete, so it can kind of be hard to play them all the time. I kind of pick and choose what I play. And second, this video is being made in March of 2017, so if you're watching this into the future, and a game like Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't on this list, don't be mad because that game hasn't been released yet. I haven't played it yet. However, I know it's going to be amazing and I'm going to be playing the crap out of it when it does release. But unfortunately, I haven't played it yet, so that's why it's on the list. I'm just covering games that I've played and games that have already been released. And finally, guys, this is my own personal opinion, so don't rip me up in the comments if a game you love isn't on the list. It's just my opinion. Like I said, may not have even played it. But anyway, guys, let's jump right in with number 10, Dark Souls 3. Now, this is easily one of the hardest RPGs I've ever played, but at the same time, it was super rewarding when you finally beat a boss. It's such a rewarding feeling about it. Just, really love that feeling. Anyway, Dark Souls is an action RPG, and its combat is intense. In the same way, it's very fluid and fast-paced. I love the combat in these series of games. The weapons in the games are also seriously badass, and the enemies are just some of the coolest designs, and they look beautiful. I mean, the world in this game is like super in depth, and you just feel immersed in it. I love the overall feel of the world and the bad guys and the weapons. I love everything about this game. Though this game will make you want to like break your controller a few times along the way, Dark Souls 3 is for sure worth the frustration. It's an incredible experience that any RPG fan must try. Coming in at number 9 is the latest in the long-running Tales series. Tales of Vesperia is the 16th game in the series and one of my favorites so far. It's actually a prequel / spin-off of the Tales of Vesperia, which also came out on the PS4, which is also a great game. But anyway, it's a third-person action RPG. They use the typical linear motion battle system, kind of like a turn-based almost, and it's one of the most interesting Tales games I've ever played. The story in this game, the storytelling is excellent. The characters really shine through. The plot is really interesting, and it kind of gives us like these moments of plot development. I really like that. Usually these like cutscenes, they call them skits. They really make you feel immersed in the world, and it has this great dialogue, and it's like, it can go from like darkness, like dark, weird feeling give you, all the way to like these comedic skits where like it's lighthearted and it's funny, and the characters are like making fun of each other. Such a great mix of that back and forth, and it's just chock full of interesting side quests, as well as a gripping main story, of course. There are literally hundreds of hours of gameplay in this game, so it's definitely worth picking up and trying out. Number 8 goes to Final Fantasy 15, and man, it seemed like we waited forever to get this game for it to come out, but it was worth the wait. You can lose yourself in this game up to playing hundreds and hundreds of hours, leveling up your characters, doing side quests, the main story, crafting, just driving around with your friends and seeing all the big world. The game's graphics obviously are stunning and easily some of the best I've seen to date. On top of that, its story is pretty good. It's not the best Final Fantasy story. It's not my favorite Final Fantasy story, but it is good. Noctis having, like I said, his 3 bros around for the journey really made it for some unique gameplay and storytelling elements, and I really actually enjoyed. And its open world is massive, and it takes a decent amount of time to fully explore, and the combat system is pretty good. I know that everyone is a big fan of the action-based battle system in Final Fantasy 15, and they would much rather have like a turn-based system. But I feel like the Final Fantasy 15 does a good job, and I really enjoyed its fast-paced and the way it flows. The game is really worthy an entry in the game series, and one you guys should definitely check out. Neo has one of the coolest plot lines I've ever heard. It takes place in Japan in the 1600s, and you play as a European samurai named William. It's a freaking cool premise. I just really enjoyed that for whatever reason. It's just a cool setting, and of course it looks beautiful on the PS4. Again, this is an open world RPG, which I typically tend to favor that style of RPGs. As you guys can probably tell, most of these are going to be open world action RPGs on this list. Anyway, it has a great combat system based around a hack and slash gameplay, which is super incredibly addicting and fun. Of course, there's a leveling system that lets players choose which skills to increase via a skill tree, very common to see in these type of games. So if you want to say focus on more close quarters combat, you can put more points into your samurai tree. Whereas if you want to focus more on longer range attacks, you can put more points into your ninja tree. And it's a very cool and fun mechanic that gives the players some, more strategy elements to the game. And of course, the storytelling and storyline of the game is excellent, as you would expect, and it has very cool plot twists and turns along the way. So overall, Nioh is a game that I feel like any RPG fan would enjoy, especially if you're into hack and slash and action RPGs. A very interesting game to check out. Coming in at number 6 is Fallout 4, the latest installment in the classic RPG series. And what really is there to say about the Fallout series that you guys don't already know? They feature massive open worlds that allow you to travel anywhere and anytime you want. And Fallout 4 uses the typical VAT system with the combat feels right at home for any fan of the series. It's such a good system that they didn't really change all that much about it. But of course, it is a classic way, and it is loaded to the brim with adventures and side quests, and you can level up your character, and there's crafting, and there's skill trees, and you can unlock skills, and there's just so much content and depth to this game that you can't help but love it. Also added to this game for the first time is the new base building system that allows players to make customized buildings and settlements, and that can get super in-depth and super fun. You can spend countless hours making it the perfect base and having your turrets face this way, or just customizing your bedroom to make it look a certain way. You can kind of get lost in that. So it also has this incredibly in-depth crafting system, like I said, you can see in most of these games. So it makes scavenging through the wasteland and looking for screws or looking for duct tape or whatever adhesive, making all those little things worthwhile, and it makes this game really, really fun. And the game does have its faults. It has some minor technical issues. There's stuff like the frame rate dropping, and there's random parts with a little crash here and there. But overall, it is a great experience and one that you have to check out. Just cracking my top 5 is a lesser-known 2D action RPG called Hyper Light Drifter, and it's insanely underappreciated game. It is designed to be a throwback to the 8 and 16-bit days when RPGs were somewhat limited in what they could do back on the Super Nintendo era, Genesis era. It really has been described as a combination of Zelda: Link to the Past mixed with the original Diablo, which is incredibly high praise because those are some of the best games of all time, and combining them just really kind of cool. And the game art style is super unique, and I absolutely fell in love with it and its music. They decided to go without spoken dialogue in the game and instead use visuals along with music to convey feelings to the players, and they did an amazing job of this. You really get that sense from both the visuals and the music. It's a great combination. This is more or less a hidden gem of an RPG, and it's a shame that more people haven't tried it out, but it's super, super amazing. I highly recommend this game. Number 4 goes to my current favorite PS4 game, one that I've been sinking countless hours into recently, and that is Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's already my pick for Game of the Year. Yes, even above Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yes, I said it. I stand by it. Fight me, bro. Fight me. Horizon Zero Dawn is another open world game, and it's beautiful. Massive open world to explore. And also, I do have to say, freaking robot dinosaurs. How dope is that? It's like Jurassic Park meets the Terminator. It's so amazing. But besides that, the game also features a truly gripping storyline with Aloy, and her character is so likable, and you learn so much about her. There's a lot of in-depth about there, a lot of backstory, a lot of cool things going on there. And as you'd expect, there's also a skill tree system to level up your character. But my favorite part of the game is it gives you the choice. You can also take down these machines in a wide array of melee weapons or range weapons. But there's also this stealth feature, which just so cool to it. You can either use sneak around and use your skills and stealth kills, stuff like that. I could go on and on about this game. I'm truly having a great time. I have not finished it just yet, but it's seriously my pick for Game of the Year, and picking this game up, you will not be disappointed. Coming in number 3 is another game from the Souls series, and easily my favorite of the franchise. Of course, we're talking about Bloodborne, and again, it is insanely difficult, but beating this game is worth the pain and agony of the defeats and the countless dying over and over. I just can't get enough of the Bloodborne's tough as nails combat and its boss fights. It's like I guess I just like the pain of dying over and over again. I don't know why, but just the feeling you get when you finally take down a massive boss, it's like I said, it's like nothing else I've ever experienced in the game. It's pure joy. It's elation. It's like the sense of accomplishment that you just don't get from beating other games or beating other bosses in other RPGs. Beating this game is like getting a badge of honor that any RPG fan instantly respects. It's also super cheap these days, so there really is no reason for you not to go out there, pick it up, and play it right now. In our runner-up spot is a newer game called Nier Automata, and wow, this game shocked me how great it is. It is made by Platinum Games, who of course are known for their epic hack and slash style games like Bayonetta or Mad World, also great games. But this is an open world action RPG that is like nothing else I've ever played. Yes, I know this is a sequel to another Nier game that had similar game style on the PS3 and Xbox 360, but like I said, never played that one. I never even heard of it, so I really didn't know what to expect, but I was pleasantly surprised by what I found in this. It's a third-person gameplay. It's incredibly fast-paced, incredibly fun. Its boss fights are just super awesome. They have these big scope fights, and there's like this super weird, unique like style. There's like this bullet hell shooter type element where you're dodging these bullets as these giant boss battles are going on. I've never seen anything like that before in any RPG that I've played, and it's super awesome. I love that. Very good graphics, very good storyline. I love the world that it's set in, the post-apocalyptic world. It's so cool. Really like that. Like I said, it's a great game. Very unique game. I love this style. I love Platinum Games, and I love Square Enix, so the combination there is also very well. Great game, one you guys should probably be checking out. Now, before we get to our number one, let's take a second to look at some honorable mentions, games that just missed our list, but are still some amazing RPGs on the PS4 and are ones you guys should definitely keep an eye out or check out yourselves. And finally, my number one RPG in the PS4 so far has to go to The Witcher 3, and this should come as no surprise to anyone who has played this game. This game is an absolute masterpiece. Its open world is one of the biggest I've ever explored. It'll take you over 100 hours to see everything, and you might have to go back and redo most of it because there's so much in this living, breathing world. It's absolutely insane. There's also just so much content squeezed into this game. It's like jaw-dropping. It's awe-inspiring. You can get lost in this world for days just traveling by horseback or doing side quests. But then there's also very compelling main story that have you on the edge of your seat the entire way through. It's like a 45-hour campaign if you do everything. So cool. It's simply one of the best games I've played so far. And again, it looks amazing on the PS4. Some of the best graphics I've ever seen in any game to date. It's a combination of good graphics, insane amount of depth, good storytelling, fun battle and leveling systems, crafting, and its massive open world make it easily one of the best RPGs I've ever played on any system, let alone the PS4, and this is a true must-play for any RPG fan out there. But anyway, guys, that's just my opinions on some games that I'd like. I'd love to hear what you guys think of what your favorite RPGs on the PS4 are. Down in the comments, leave some talk about that. Also, you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. Let's try and hit for 500 likes. Really appreciate if you guys could take a second and do that. Also, subscribe for more gaming content in your sub boxes daily. Check out some of my previous PS4 and Xbox One videos. But until next time, guys, remember it's always K-Mac time somewhere. Take it easy and peace out.
Ninja.